Welcome to the Thin Blue Line Outdoors Podcast.
This pig came battling.
Just ended up puking last night. It sucked.
Whoa! Ah! We gut it, we wrap it in tinfoil, throw it over the fire.
All right, everyone. Cody Johnson here with Thin Blue Line Outdoors. This is going to be podcast, I believe, 114, I believe is what it's going to be. If it's not 114, it's 113. So excited to have you back on the podcast. I know we always, summertime is kind of hard to us to keep, there's not just less to talk about. So it's hard to us to keep pace with everything. I know, the last two podcasts you guys would have saw Kyle and I both in a hotel room both times. We were doing the HHA event that we talked about. Ryan, I see you making faces over there. Are you just jealous you weren't invited? And then you guys would have just heard our pre-hunt plans for caribou hunting in Alaska. But we are super excited. It is beginning of August as we record this, or almost August as we record this podcast. Deer season's super close. We just got done doing a thing we've been looking forward to for quite a while now. A goal of ours as the brand to start doing. And Ryan, I'm gonna give him kudos. He's the one who really pushed for this, and he's also had the first ever first responder guest. So at this point in time, I'm gonna kick it over to the Red Coat. Let him do the intro of our guest, and go from there, and we'll recap what we just got done doing. Red Coat, it's all yours.
It's right, guys. Red Coat here from the Thin Blue Line Outdoors. Little bit sick today, feeling under the weather because we had a very busy weekend. I think Mike and I ended up being awake for about 38 hours straight. But I mean, it was totally worth it. We had an absolute ball. But guys, I want to introduce my mate Mike from work. Mike and I met. What was it now? It's over 3 years now, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's over 3 years ago we met. We started around the same time for ISP in the radio. We've done our training together. We've done all our class work together. There was only two of us, actually, which was really nice. Seeing other trainees now they're doing it now actually makes me feel a lot more grateful because there was only two of us, so we only had each other to rely on. And then we graduated at the same time, and we've been working there ever since. So, we've talked about our goals and what when I call Mike. Mike's a big supporter. And Mike, you can introduce yourself in a minute, but I just want to get this out there. Big supporter of the channel, always has been. Big supporter of the merch. Big coffee guy. I mean, I've never seen anyone drink more coffee with him. Good, but should see what this man brings to work. I'm talking liters of
My type of guy. I knew I liked Mike. I liked him.
He likes his coffee. So do I. So do we. But big supporter of the brand. And we've always had this goal. We want to get first responders into the woods. Cody, me, Jesse, Kyle, Nate. We wanted to bring together people to humanise the badge, also get more first responders into the woods to make sure it's being looked after and treated accordingly, because we know the job itself can be stressful. So when we started the idea of getting people into the woods, outdoors, the first person that came to my mind was Mike. Just had a second baby, as you can see. He's got his hands full. Let's get him out. So I thought it was a great trip. It was a lot slower than normal, but I think the quality and size of fish that we were getting is a lot bigger. So that's Mike. What about you, lad? Any add-ons? Can't hear you.
Yeah, Mike, your audio got real bad all of a sudden.
That's it.
Oh, there you go. You're back.
Back. I had a lot of fun. That was a first for me. I've never been.
Oh, there goes
Mike, we're losing you again. Audio issues. There you go. You're back. I think you're back.
Am I back?
Yeah.
You're back. You're back. Yep.
So I've never really been fishing like that, other than like ponds and stuff, like little creeks. So that was my first time out on a charter boat and caught fish that big. But I enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, you had a few nice fish there. In fact, I think you had the most different species that day. You know, you had salmon, you had rainbow trout, and you had lake trout. So lake trout sort of I've been after for many years, and you got one on your first trip, so that was good. Well, how did you think of the whole, like, you know, you were invited with us with the Thin Blue Line Outdoors. We wanted to give back to our fan base and all that. You sort of see the outdoors as something that can help you, maybe help other people in the same field. Like, you know, did you see it as a meaningful outlet?
Yeah, it's always good to get.
Oh man, he's back.
It's it's always good to get out in nature, and it's really relaxing. Like, and that was my thing, was even if we didn't catch anything, well, I didn't catch anything or that. At least being on the boat, you know, got to see the sunrise, and yeah.
I'm gonna cut you guys off here real quick. I was going through the pictures I took, and we got some great pictures of sunrise and video, and it was like I know we're talking to the captain, Josh and Dean there. I know they kind of say they get dull to it because they see it every morning, but I don't think they realize how fortunate they are. I'll take that back. I think they do know, because even they were commenting about how, like, you know, it kind of sucks to get dull to it, but you know, I hadn't seen a sunrise in like while fishing or hunting since turkey season, and I know that was only a few months ago, but I miss it, man. You know, I think it was good for all of us. You know, what else are you going to do in the middle of July in the heat? You know, it was nice.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Mike, you know, part of the whole journey of being, you know, an outdoorsman, a sportsman, a hunter, fisherman, you know, it's not all about, you know, what you catch or what you harvest, or you know what you kill on the day. Most of it's just being out there and appreciating the day itself. And I think for most of us, and I'm glad you brought that up there, you know, you went out there with the mindset, man, we might not even catch anything, but I'm out there and with a good group of lads, you know, we're in the middle of nowhere, we're going to see the sunrise, and, you know, we're going to have a good time between us. And I think that's what we appreciate about deer cams, turkey cams, you know, fishing trips and all that. It's just a whole camaraderie. And I think what I appreciate as well is, you know, because most of us in the team, we're all sharing the same profession, you know, and we've got each other's backs at work and all that, but to be able to do a sort of a deer camp or a fishing trip like that, where we can all talk about it and vent and, you know, have a laugh while doing it, sort of make fun of ourselves while doing it. I think it helps me a lot, and I wish we could do it every week, if I'm honest with you. You know, I'd love that, but just being able to get you out with us, I was lined up to introduce you to the team, and you know, they all said you were a giant arsehole behind the back, like, but no, I think you definitely passed the test, like, but glad you had a good time as well. Well, anything that was like what you didn't expect, or was there something that you expected but was like, oh my god, this is completely different? Anything like that? Because it's your first time on a big trip like that. Oh, your audio. There you go.
You there, Mike?
Yeah, I'm still here. You hear me?
Yep, you're good. We're gonna have since we have so much pictures and video, it'll show us talking on this podcast, but I'm also gonna have pictures and video overlaying it, so just might as well. Oh, he's gone,
and that's it, ladies and gentlemen. You could only stand for 47 seconds.
Yeah, he should join back on once he just got to go back to the link. So one thing I have a feeling Mike is about to say. So obviously, I think a lot of times when people think fishing, it's going to be relaxing by nature and all this stuff, and it is relaxing. It is relaxing when it comes to like.
Let's see if you've nailed it.
Yeah. So, Mike, we're going to have a guess on what you're going to say, but go ahead.
I think Boom's had a pretty good guess there. So the question is, was there anything that you had expectations about the trip before going on it? When you actually went on it, being your first big fishing trip like that, was there anything like out the ordinary or different to what you thought it would be? What were the biggest things?
I was not expecting how hard it was going to be to reel in the fish.
Called it.
You called it. That's a
I mean, that first one, I thought I was like, don't drop the pole, because my hand started cramping up. I was like, it wasn't even it wasn't the arm cranking the reel, it was the one holding the rod.
Mm-hmm. Yep, every time. I know I was surprised last year. I know, so I did a lot of salmon fishing when I was on a trip when I was in 8th grade. And now we were using just open face spinner reels, fishing streams. And I remember by the end of the day being exhausted fighting fish. Well, we're in Lake Michigan. We got these big, stiff rods, big, everything's set up, ready to go. I'm like, oh, it shouldn't be too hard. I remember last year being taken aback. Like, by the end of it, my arms are completely tired. And I have bruises on my thigh. I didn't know why I had them. So I was like, it was yesterday actually when Orig came over to vacuum seal his fish. He's like, dude, I got bruises on my stomach where he was driving the fishing rod in. And I was like, that's why I have bruises on my thigh. I couldn't figure out why I had it. So,
when you were reconnecting, Boom said, I think his biggest shock was going to be a lot of people think fishing, they think relaxing and a nice chilled out time, but I like actually how hard it is out on the water. But it is a tough one. But there's just something that keeps you going, isn't it? It's weird. Obviously, you've got the four of us behind you, and you're going to get laughed at if you drop that rock. Well,
I remember you saying, "Don't stop."
Yep.
And that, you know what? And that's what it takes sometimes. We had it last year, Mike, and we tried to explain to you, like, last year it was chaotic. It was bite after bite after bite. We would have by 9 o'clock, and all of us had our 5 limits. So there must have been about 30 fish on the deck, gutted, cleaned out, filleted, and we were eating breakfast by like 9:30 or something like that. And we were exhausted. But like after your 3rd fish, you needed that. Come on, keep going, keep pumping, because there's times when your brain's like, oh my God, I can't even be bothered. Yeah.
That's what I like about this charter so much. Because it is relaxing at times. Like, dude, the ride out there, I forget how many miles we were going out there. It's, it's just, you got the nice red light of the boat. Everything else is dark. We're just all excited, chirping, having a good time. And then like, as they're setting up the fishing pools, the sunrise is coming up. It's just, the lake is beautiful. Again, we're excited. Everybody's kind of like naturally lowers the voice just to take everything in. And the next, fish on, and it gets exciting. And even this time, one thing I love the chaos from the 2 trips ago, but this time it was kind of nice. Like, so, last year we had 2 guys who were actually joining the team, and that was their interview, is what we did, was have them out there, and we did get to know them very well. But we didn't really get to deep dive into their family or talk about how their work is and stuff. Like, I felt like this year with you, Mike, like I had to have, during this trip alone, I got to have more conversations with you compared to what I got to those guys last year, because we did have more downtime. And, and we would be talking about how the same problems you guys might be having at work, I'm having at work as well. 2 different agencies, hundreds of miles apart. And the next, as we're both, complaining about whatever, boom, fish on. And then we're all gun-ho and excited about it.
You can forget about work and get onto the rod. I think that was the first time. I think I've done it like 4 or 5 years now or something like that with that charter fishing. I think it was the first time that we've ever got to like sit down, relax, talk, have a few drinks, you know what I mean? Like you coming out with the cutting board with the homemade deer something. It was a great touch and it was lovely to have a drink. I think it was the first time we could all sit down and actually have a nice little chat. Good, loads of lovely fresh air. And anything else, Mike, about the trip that you appreciated or didn't expect, or you can take away with you?
Just like this time. Sure.
You're back. You're back.
I think you might be covering your speaker. Are you holding your phone like this?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. What did you say?
I said the sun coming up on the lake. It was just unreal. You try and take pictures of it, and it doesn't capture anywhere. It's it doesn't even look real how beautiful it is when the sun comes up in the water, and and then like you said, it was nice that we were talking, hanging out, and then you get a fish on, and then everyone's going crazy, and then you get the fish on, and then go back to talking, and then jump right back in. That was fun.
Yeah, and the whole one of the main purposes for me diving into this Thin Blue Line outdoor project is, as everyone knows, I grew up in England. I couldn't hunt over there. And when I first got the bug for it, was like, man, this is incredible. And one of the things I'm lucky that I can be able to do is, at least try my best to capture what I'm going through in the woods so that I can share that with people that aren't as fortunate as me and who can't hunt. And I think you absolutely nailed it. No matter how good I'm going to be with the camera or how good I can get with it, or no matter how good the equipment that I get with it, unless you're out there, unless you've got your ass in a tree stand or sitting up against the tree in the freezing cold or the rain or the snow or the hail, watching that sunrise or hearing that turkey, gobble for the first time, or hearing the leaves crunching of a big buck walking through, it's just very hard, I think, for people to really understand the thrill and excitement. So getting other people out there, Mike, like you, like colleagues of ours, first responders, getting them out there to be like, oh my God, the sunrise. I knew there was such thing as a sunrise, and I've seen it on the TV and people posting pictures, but I just didn't realize how peaceful watching the sunrise was. And I think Cody would agree. I think goal was to get you out there and to see stuff like this, and I think we absolutely accomplished that goal.
Absolutely. Well, Mike, in front of everybody, here's your chance to criticize us at all. Anything you recommend, because you're our first ever first spawner we've been able to do this with, and we have a lot of future plans. Like I was texting Ryan and a group of guys a few days ago about something else we got in the works. I guess any critiques to us on maybe something we should improve on, and then after you have that, I guess if there's anything you want to, because you're just one of many we're going to invite on some of these things we have coming. Maybe anything you would recommend to first spawners that are interested in going fishing or hunting with us.
No critiques. I guess just go and do it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta go. Like I said, I never really went fishing like that before. Never touched the big fish. Touching those fish was the first time I ever did that too. Really.
Dude, I'll wait until you see the pictures of you. You were holding it like it was a hot iron.
Dude, I got a beautiful picture. I was going through the photos today, and I'll definitely send it to you, Mike, of you holding a rainbow, and just the sun was glistening on the rainbow, so perfect. And you got a big eating grin on your face as you're holding it. It was a really good picture. I was really happy how it turned out.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was to say, just go out and do it.
Mm-hmm.
So worst thing.
Lost you again. I think the kids are winning the fight.
Yeah. we lost you there. What did you say? Get out and do it, and what?
I said just. The worst thing that happens is, you just get to enjoy the outdoors.
Mm-hmm. Amen to that, brother.
I think I seen your wife posted something on Facebook as well the other day, Mike. Take time out for yourself, take care of yourself. At the end of the day, your job's always going to be there. If anything happens to you, they'll replace you in a heartbeat. And sometimes when you're at that point in the job, it's like, okay, I need to take a day for myself, and that's completely fine. I think I seen a fact the other day that Americans work more hours a year than medieval peasants. I've always thought medieval peasants, I felt so bad for them. They must have worked like dogs. And then I seen a fact that American workers actually work more hours a year than medieval peasants. And I'm thinking, oh my God, how have we got to this? They grow their own food. They had to cook their own foods over fires and collect their own wood. That was how they lived. And we seem to be working more out. We've almost gone backwards. So getting to that point where you feel like you need time away, especially first responders, you all know what I'm talking about. Taking that day to yourself, and it'll be beneficial. Yeah, and obviously, coming from where we're coming from, we want to get you outdoors. We think nature's a healer. And
Yep. So actually, one thing I want to talk about, both of your guys' line of work. I think everybody knows if you're not in the first responder field. I think most people know that, hey, there's a shortage of cops throughout the country. We could do a whole another podcast on why that is. But I think a lot of times dispatchers get overlooked because, again, you are out of sight, out of mind, good and bad. And you guys are also experiencing a dispatching shortage throughout the country as well. And we were talking about, how many 16 hours, how many hours you guys have been putting in here lately. And I just want kudos and, whoever listens to this podcast to realize that dispatchers are first responders. I actually think there's at times you guys get it worse than we do. So 9 times out of 10, the call on the radio, in my opinion, sounds way worse than what it actually is. So, people, it's their worst moments. And really, for us, it might not be that big a deal. But, they're calling 911 or calling, hotline asking for help. It always sounds worse than really what it is. So as you guys are on the line handling, that 1050, or whatever, and they're, emotional, distraught, whatever, a lot of times then you guys get off the phone once the cops get there. You guys don't get that closure of how the call ended. And, you might have been talking to a woman who's bawling her eyes out because she just got in this wreck, and really it's no big deal, but she thinks I maybe just killed this person. Trooper, cop gets there and realize, oh, it's no big deal. Everybody's okay. Insurance is going to cover it. Hey, ma'am, everything's fine. And now she's happy and relieved. But the last thing you guys knew was I was talking to a grieving woman, and you guys a lot of times don't get that closure. So we all have, aspects to our jobs that are good and bad. And I know one thing, how you guys do it. A lot of times you are sending your officers that you build relationships with to a dangerous call, and you guys can't help, like at least physically help. You know what I mean? Like at least I know if I hear a cop fighting, I'm going and I can physically get involved. The best thing you guys can do if somebody's asking for help is, okay, I'm sending more officers, but you're just sitting there listening to it. And again, it always sounds worse than usually what it is. And I don't know how you guys do it. Like, kudos to you guys. That's a whole other stress that I do not want to be a part of it.
Yeah, no, we've talked about that. Not knowing what happens after the closures part for me. The second hardest part is I've always been frontline work. Always been in the mix, frontline, jumping in the action straight away. Not being able to do that is a killer as well. But it's a blessed role. Not everyone can do it, and we hear stuff. An officer involved shooting, or if an officer gets involved in a fight, we're not just on the other end of the radio, and I want our officers and troopers to know that we're the ones making them calls. We're getting assistance. We're going out over the emergency radio network, and the stuff that we can do, and we do. And I just think it is like almost like a guardian angel, and
yeah.
Our praises might not get sung every day, but I mean I think it's a job where we can do a lot, without it's a good one. It's interesting though, isn't it, Mike? It keeps you busy.
Yeah, it keeps you busy. I think the hard part is like all the overtime, and then for us, it's not. We don't have a lot of time to come down. Like other people, other agencies, they have like people. They just answer the phone, and then people who deal with the radio traffic, we do it all. So like, and we cover so much area with all the expressways and that. You get roll over on a busy expressway that thousands of cars are driving on. You get hundreds of calls, and like yesterday, you pick up a call, you get the information, you get off, and then you're picking up another one because like I was working 2 rollovers yesterday at the same time, and you get 30, 40 calls on the one. You're answering calls, and then you put that down and you're taking the radio traffic, and then all of a sudden there's another rollover. You're getting bombarded with calls, and then You know, next thing there's a domestic, and
You call fire while while you're on the phone with another 911 call, while on the radio dispatching, while typing everything. Yeah, keeps you busy for sure.
I mean, it's not like that all the time, but I mean, it's busy a lot because we cover a lot of areas. So especially you do that 16 hours a day, and that you really don't have a lot of time to come down and de-stress. So that's why I did like 4 days, I think. I did like 4 16s before we went on our trip, and then I had that break, and then I've been working 16s pretty much every day since I went back. I got 5 16s in a row starting Saturday. So
you guys are crazy. I got some 12s I got to work here coming up, so wish me luck, boys.
Big money. Yeah.
Well,
we sure appreciated you. I appreciated you being there and the fact that we were able to get you out. It was touch and go at times, believe it or not. Even though he was on a 16, there was a call off and there was potential for another order, and it almost seems impossible, but it was touch and go for a little bit there with Mike being able to come or not. But I think we were up 38 hours and we were fighting that drive home. Mike lost the fight.
I lost.
Not to obviously Kyle and I had it better than you guys, but I will say coming back, we were like right in the Chicago freeway, and we're like, I'm sitting there like head on my hand. I'm like, I am struggling, and Kyle's like, me too. It was worth it, but it was exhausting, and we had more sleep than you guys. So yeah, it was that. Speaking of which, so we didn't. I don't think we ever said. So it was us three, and it was Kyle, and then Jesse. So that was the team this year, 5 of us. And then also, so we already have a spot reserved. So I know none of you guys are going to take it. But shout out to Bama Breeze, Josh and Dean. Josh is the captain. Dean's the first mate. Second time I've been around him. I know Ryan's been around him more than I have. Great guys, absolute great guys. A bunch of. When I say bullshitters, I mean in a good way. Like we're just sitting there, they don't know us that well, but we're joking back and forth, having a good time with them, and it's just all in all, just fun, just a good time.
And a big shout out to them from me as well because they worked hard. So the way it was, I mentioned earlier in the podcast, the fishing was a lot slower. It's the slowest year that I've ever witnessed, but the size of the fish was a lot bigger. What Josh was explaining to us, that we're a month ahead of schedule because of the extreme temperatures and heat in the Chicagoland area. It's basically pushed us a month ahead. So we were fishing for this type of fish at this depth on this lure for a July fish, but the lake, the temperature, the currents, all that stuff was fishing at the end of August. So they really had to work, and man, I don't know how many times we changed laws, changed colours, changed depths. We must have had about 15 rods out. I mean, they really worked. I think we had maybe 6-7 rods on each side, each of them at different depths, and most of the fish we caught were on one rod, believe it or not. And it was the deep. It was the fish were really pushed down because of the temperature and the sunlight as well. So the fish were deep. They weren't feeding as much as they normally do, as all you fishermen know. Hot days and days fish push themselves out slower and feeds a little bit slower as well. So they worked hard. And I think we ended up tied out of all the charters that went out of Winthrop Harbour that day. I think we tied for first place. We had 14 fish. Another boat had 14, and then I think there was a 13, a 12, and maybe a 10. But our sizes were really good, and they're going to be really good eating. Mostly trout as well. I was super surprised. I was looking forward to salmon or king salmon.
We were when you booked it, Ryan, we were told our main back when you booked it months ago. We were told kings, right? That was the main thing we were focusing on. But like Ryan said, we mainly caught lake trout and some rainbow trout. Couple kings,
Yeah, two very
and then yeah. So, but yeah, no, I know I was happy. Lake trout was one of the few I didn't catch the year before. The only thing I haven't caught now is well, maybe I did catch a rainbow. I think I've caught everything now because I caught some kings last year, but they're smaller kings. So what?
It's all about PBs now, isn't it? Breaking
Yeah, exactly. And so get this, Ryan. Kyle and I were talking about this on the way home, and kind of switch the topic a little bit. Starting from October of last year, Thin Blue Line Outdoors has had something planned every month. So October through January deer season, obviously. February we had the hog hunt. March is show season. April we went to Vortex. May we had turkey hunting. June we had HHA weekend. July we had our fishing trip. August we have Deer and Beer Fest. September we got a big hunt coming in Caribou. October we have deer season. November we have deer season. December we have deer season. January we have deer season. So really, TBLO we have something planned every month, and as of now until April, which I'm trying to get us back to the Vortex weekend. So that could change.
Good, really big stuff. Good deal.
So well, before we get done with the fishing, is there anything else you guys want to talk about or say when it comes to the fishing trip?
I had a blast.
Let's see.
I was so happy, even though we were a man short, but I sort of said to the group a couple of days before, listen, for that extra price with one less person on the boat, and I mean, the group that we had this year was, every group we go with every year is a good group, but otherwise we wouldn't be taking this with us because we've got a really good reputation with the captain and the first mate, and we've heard some horror stories with other groups that have went with them. So if you're not our cup of tea, you could be coming with us. So I always knew we were going to have a good group of lads. We were just one short this year, and I didn't mind at all. I sort of sent the message out like, I'm not even sweating it. I was like for $50 or whatever it was. Well worth it, in my opinion. Just a little bit more space on the boat, and good group of lads, great chat, great catch up. Got out there, fresh air, sunrises. I caught my PB lake trout this year, my PB rainbow trout last year. So I just enjoy it. Really loved it and enjoyed it. But what about you, Mike? Final words on fishing?
I was going to ask you, did you did you regret not going further out on the lake, extending it to the 8 hour? Do you think it would have even been worth it?
Yeah, that's a good question. So just for background for everyone, the day before we went out, the captain had emailed me saying, I'm just throwing this out there, salmon fishing's been crap. There is a spot, but it's a 4-hour drive away. I don't know where it was, somewhere on Lake Michigan. 4-hour drive away, but it's going to cost you double. It'll cost you double because of the gas, basically. But I'll guarantee you some really big trouts. Well, your limit for trout on Lake Michigan a day is 2 trout. So I'm thinking to myself, I knew the answer. Obviously, I put the message out there to the team. I already knew my answer, but I'm not going to pay double to catch 2 trout and the possibility of catching salmon when we've got that exact same opportunity by sticking to the game plan. Now, the captain calls it. Do I have regrets about not doing that 8 hour? I'll always have regrets not staying on a boat for 8 hours. That's for sure, because I could spend the whole day on the boat. It's gorgeous. You know what I mean? Do I have regrets not doing it for the fishing aspect? Not at all. Not at all. Not in the slightest. I think a $500 day for fishing for 5 fish, $100 a fish. I'm thinking I'm trying out there filling me freeze. The same with deer, mate. I'm out there for the meat. I know how much I pay for my time, how much I pay for my ammunition, my gas, so I can sort of see how much an animal costs me, to eat for the year. And I think that's one of the coolest parts of hunting for me. So I don't regret it, and I don't think anyone on the boat would have regretted it. I think we smashed it. And you know what? Just with given the weather and how the weather's been, it was always going to be a risk. We could have paid double, went to this secret spot, caught 2 trout each, and might not have got nothing else. And that was the gamble.
Yeah.
The salmon weren't feeding. The salmon were pushed so far down. It's like we were fishing in August. And each fish has like a different month almost, is what I've noticed about Lake Michigan. The end of July is the kings. Maybe early next month is the big lake trout. At the beginning of the season, it's, coho salmon season. So it goes like this up and down, and there's never any guarantees. So I don't regret that.
Yeah, what he said. So. Yep. Well, so shout out. So back up a little bit. Like I said, Bam Breeze Fishing is who we were with Captain Josh. Just so everybody wants to know price wise, it's $1,000 for it's a 4 or 5 hour trip, Ryan.
Yeah,
4 hours. So and that's you can have up to 6 fishermen. So that's $1,000 if you want to split it 6 ways, or you only want 2 people. So whatever you decide. But that's what it is. Like I said, this is my 2nd year. Ryan's 4th or 5th year. I'm assuming we will always reserve a spot and never give that up. Kind of like the hog hunt we do. Once we find a place we like and just good people, that's the big thing. We find good people we want to associate with. We have a tough time giving that up because I think I can speak for Ryan. If for some reason I can't do the fishing trip one year, Ryan's still going to go with some people. If for some reason I can't go on the hog hunt, but Ryan can go, Ryan's going to go with some people and do the hog hunt in my stead. Like, it's just we've built this core group of people and we keep growing. Good for us. Unfortunately, we keep building these relationships with people. I might not be able to go to everyone, but us as a team can keep going and take people with us, and it'll be fun. And we're just like surrounding ourselves with good people.
Just the caveat on top of that: the trip itself is $1,000. That's not including tip. Don't be like some of these other teams that go out and don't tip them. I think that's a very, very low blow.
Yeah.
See, with the work that they do for you, they filleting your fish, they cleaning your fish. They'll educate you, they'll teach you. You ask them any questions, they're always happy to tell you what to do and why they're doing it. So that $1,000 without the tip, and we're very good tippers on our team. Yeah. So let's say $30 minimum each, but we go for $50 each for them because we can take our beers with us. They're super relaxed. They give us our little safety brief as soon as we step on the boat. But after that, it's like, it's us, it's our team. Their boat is our boat is their boat type thing, Type of guys that you feel like you've known for years, don't they? You know what I mean?
Yep. Exactly. To go off of the fishing now a little bit, when this podcast comes out, so it should be about mid-August when you guys are listening to this, the weekend of the 22nd, let me look here to double check. Yeah, 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, Bloomington, Illinois Deer and Beer Fest. We'll be there in the same booth we're always in, right across from the Ridge Hunter guys. Come see us. It's our last show of the year. Everybody's excited. Deer season's here. We got some big trips coming up as a brand, so come talk to us about all that good stuff. Multiple team members are going to be there. Obviously, I'll be there all weekend. Come see us. Couple things. So when it comes to our shirts, we are doing a whole new merch process next year. So everything I have in stock for the most part, I am selling dirt cheap. So come get you a great show deal, get you some shirts and stuff. We're just making some inventory for next year. Super excited for all that. I will have, if you're watching this up or watching this podcast or watching the salmon fishing trip, those fishing shirts we have, I have limited. I think it took me 2 years to figure out what I liked. I think we finally got it down now. I don't know what the price will be on those yet, but I'll have them. I don't plan on putting them on my website until the show. So people at the show will get first dibs on them. come get them. They'll be there. Be super excited for that. And I have coffee already ready to go. So get yourself some patrol roast. Also, I'm working out the kinks. I'm hoping to have it for the show. Some of these first responder events that we're going to start doing, I should have the application process streamlined for that show. So if you are a first responder, don't have to be in Illinois. You can be anywhere. You can do an application process, and we're going to have certain hunts we're working on. I don't have anything confirmed other than the fishing trip as of right now. But just so everybody knows, this is what we're possibly looking at. So the salmon fishing trip, we're looking at hopefully a couple spots for thermal coyote hunting, possibly a turkey hunt, possibly a hog hunt, and then maybe some deer hunting. So that's what we're looking at right now. We got some big plans in the future. Ryan knows a couple of things, maybe working on some Canadian stuff in the future, so forth and so on. But Thin Blue Outdoors, for being 5 years now, we are super excited where we're at right now. We've had some great sponsors. Obviously, you see me rocking the Dominant Strands hat. We got HHA coming on. We got Wreck Broadheads, Hourgrounds Coffee Co., Mr. Rubb, and then possibly some new people. No matter what, we haven't confirmed everything with them yet, but I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to VBS, the original vanilla bug spray. They sent a bunch of all of the team members bottle to try out, taking a chance on us. So no matter what, Eric from VBS, we appreciate you. But yeah, we got some good things coming down the line. Super excited. Mike, I'm going to say thanks for coming, man. Thanks for being our guinea pig when it comes to first responder we do a trip with. You were great to hang around. Ryan said good things about you, and they were all true. So that's good.
Well, thanks for having me. Like I said, I had a lot of fun, and really thankful you guys took me out there.
Brilliant.
Really appreciative.
So you deserve it, lads. You're a hard worker, one of the hardest working people I know, and ethical people as well. And you don't get them people very often. So as soon as we talked about this, I had you in mind, and very grateful that you could come. So I'm glad you came, and thanks for being a good support for me and the rest of the team as well.
Absolutely. Oh, anything else, guys, before I close this out?
That's it. Like, share, subscribe, follow, tap that button. Let's go. We've got to grow, so let's go.
Ryan took the words out of my mouth. So thanks, guys. Be safe out there, and do some hunting, some fishing.